Hey there, how are ya? I hope you're having a great day today. My name is Melissa Heck, and this is my YouTube channel, Missy's Makeup. I'm so happy to have you here. Today we're going to be doing an eyeshadow look using the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. It is the eyeshadow look I have on my eyes right now. So if you're interested in seeing that, please stay tuned because we're going to be getting right into it. Today it is Wednesday, March 25th, and it's a heck of a day for makeup. So let's get right into it. All right, now I'm gonna take some of this hair, clip it back. Now I'm going to use the CoverGirl Ultrafine Brow Pencil. I've been using this very regularly. I don't really use anything else for my brows. This is my favorite thing. This is in the shade Rich Brown. I also like the shade Soft Brown for my hair color. So now I'm just spooling my brow hairs, make them stand up. I don't know if everyone has this problem, but literally I have one brow that is better than the other brow. Like, this is my trouble brow. This is my good brow. I just kind of like trace the outside and then fill it all in. This is just the most time consuming step. Like, I legit, this is my least favorite step of my makeup. What's your least favorite step? Comment down below. Not my favorite. And of course, I need to, like, there's always something weird about that spot in my eyebrow right there. Again, this is just my bad brow. I also think I maybe have a scar or something in this eyebrow, because I have one spot where product just like doesn't like to stick. It's right here and it's right at the bottom, so when like the rest of my brows get filled in and that part, the product doesn't like stick to it very well, then it's very noticeable. I'm just kind of spooling it through to make it look a little less harsh. I like to really spoolie the top part of the brow. Much better. But see, that one took so much longer. Now watch, this one will be so much easier. Like, honestly, I think that's the hardest part, is drawing the baseline. Like, getting that to have like a good like shape. See what I mean? Like, I am already irritated with this eyebrow. Like, this one is gonna be done in like 2 seconds. Like, I don't get it either, because I feel like of all things, this would be harder because I'm right-handed. So like, I have to reach around my face. Nope. See, like, I keep going back to this one and touching it and trying to fix it, because like, look at the tail of this one always drives me absolutely crazy too. Like, literally, I can do my eyeshadow and everything else in like the same amount of time that it takes me to like just do my stupid brows. But they're so important. Like, they change literally everything about the way that your makeup looks. Like, it's so important. Filling in your brows and stuff isn't like something that people have been doing for a long time. Obviously, there have always been people that like shave their eyebrows off and just draw them on. Like, that's been pretty typical for a long time. I'm going in with the Essence Make Me Brow Gel. Thank you, Angela, for recommending this. I bought it at Ulta. Really like it. It's got lots of like little fibers in it. Like, I don't know if you can see all of the little fibers, but I like it. So it's always funny, like, I'll go back through some old pictures of me, and a lot of them, like, I was wearing makeup but not like anything with my brows, and then you start to see when like that whole trend came in. I feel like it started like 2000 and I don't know, like 2013, 2012. And that's when I started doing it. Like when I look back on pictures of my eyebrows then, I'm like, oh my god. They look so bad. They're so blocky. And I thought I was so good too. I was like, oh my god, I'm so awesome. My eyebrows look so good. Yeah, probably be saying the same thing about myself in like 5 years. I'll be like seeing this and being like, what was I thinking? Anyways, brows are done. Yay! So glad that's done. I didn't even like carve out my brows today. I don't feel like they really need it. Maybe I'll just put a little bit of some like lighter colored concealer underneath them just to like make them pop a little bit more. I always use this Wet n Wild makeup stick. It's like a conceal correct stick. It comes in like you roll it out, but as you can see, like I just paint my brush on it. This totally isn't what it's meant to be used for, but I love it. And this is like my second one of these because I've repurchased it because it's literally like my favorite thing. And this is all I use it for. I literally just use a little flat top brush like this. This is the Luxie 221. It's actually a concealer brush, but I just use this. It's very rounded and flat, and I just take and a little bit of concealer on it. You don't need a lot, but like I don't know if you can see, but there's like, it's just a little brighter like underneath the brow, and it makes that like, it's like a highlighting effect, you know? So I'm gonna get a little bit more for the other side, and what I do is I just like get a little bit on each side of the brush, and then I take one side, and I don't know, like I don't think you guys can tell, but I'm being very light-handed and just kind of like feathering it on right now, just to make sure that I don't like bring it up into my brow hairs, like where the color is, so I can keep that line nice and clean. And then I just take the other side that I didn't use of the concealer yet and kind of just like finish it through right there. Boom. And we're done. This was like $3. I use it in the shade Follow Your Bisque. All we have now is foundation, our brows, and I put some like powder foundation kind of like lightly over my whole face just to set my foundation. Next we're going to move on to the real deal of the video, which is this palette. Before I do that, I'm going to put a little bit of lip gloss on because my lips are dry and they look really crusty. It's distracting. This is the Revlon Super Lustrous The Gloss in shade Lean In. I saw this at Ulta when I was there recently with Angela. Like I said, when I got this Essence Brow Gel, I just really like it. It's very sparkly, and I feel like it goes very well with like any like nude lipstick. So we're gonna get started on our eyeshadow look for the day. What other brush do I want to use? We'll use this one and this guy. Like I said in the intro, today we're going to be using this Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I just really wanted to do a spring look. We're in quarantine. I have nowhere to go. This is just absolutely just for something to do, just for some fun, and let's get into it. To start off, I'm going to take this brush, which it's just a fluffy blender brush. It's really old. I don't know what brand it is. I'm not even sure where I got it. I think maybe I got it in an Ipsy bag a long time ago. I'm not really sure. But anyway, we're gonna go into this, and the first shade that we're gonna start with is Off Balance. It's this little like mauve-y color. Now I'm actually going into shade Utopia a little bit. I'm gonna just take a little bit and put it on the crease also, just to kind of like make that like a pinky-ish, less purpley with a little bit of pink in there, you know? Right now I'm taking the shade Momentum. It's just like a nude color because I wanted to make sure the very, very top is nice and blendy to like my eyebrow color, like the color right beneath my eyebrow. Alright, so now we're going to go into Utopia again. This time I'm going in with a Luxie. It's a large shader, it's a 209, but it's a little dense if you can't tell, so I'm going to take this, get the brush nice and full of color, and I'm going to kind of tap off a little bit of powder. I'm going to put this right here, right in the middle of my eyelid. Really pack it on there and like make it nice and intense. And then I'm going to kind of take the excess on the brush and just feather it into the outer corner. The outer corner doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be going in with a deeper shade to deepen the outside edge. And then I'm kind of just making really small circular motions on that outer edge and kind of just making sure it all kind of blends together, bringing it in a little bit too. I'm going to take some more of Utopia, pack it right there again. Just make sure that intensity is still there because when you blend around a little bit, you lose some intensity. I just really want to amp it up there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, now I'm going to take, I know it has some blue on it already, but that's because I already did this look once. There's a little bit of fallout here. I'll brush it away. And then knowing what I know about this palette and these eyeshadows in particular, I'm going to take some loose setting powder and just kind of bring it underneath my eyes to help stop any fallout from like sticking to our face and looking like we have like a cotton candy eyeball or something. This is CoverGirl loose setting powder. Loose setting powder is so messy. Anyway, it's CoverGirl loose setting powder. It's CoverGirl clean because I have like an issue where powders especially, they break me out so bad. And like I'm not particularly like acne prone, but I don't know. I've gotten too many like really bad breakouts from some loose powder and I'm just like not having it. So anyway, I noticed that the CoverGirl Clean doesn't irritate my skin or, you know, whatever it is that makes me break out. So that's what I use. We're going to take this brush. This is a Luxie Precision Shader Brush. Again, I just use it to pack on some color. It's a little dense and I like the shape because it's pointy. Right into the inner part of my eye. The inner third, as they call it. So now it kind of looks like cotton candy on my eyes right now. And I'm just kind of bringing that blue through the crease, like out a little bit, making that Utopia and the haze shade meet. Go back into my other brush and put some more Utopia right there. Now I'm going to take this little small tapered blending brush. It's a Luxie 231. And I'm going to dip into Vortex, the darkest shade in this palette. Tap off the excess a little bit. And I'm just going to put that on the outer edge, kind of running it into the lash line. And I'm doing small circular motions up into the crease area. Looking a little patchy. Just need to blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it. Blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it. It's getting better, kind of. You really gotta blend your hand off here. There's lots of blending with this look. I think it's because of the lighter colors. I'm gonna get this brush and whatever's on it, just kind of go over the edge edges of everything at the top. So make sure everything is nice and blended together. And yeah, it should have something like this so far. So, not done yet. Now, the other side. Look at all that fallout. Okay, so now I'm gonna take Utopia again because it kind of got lost in all of that blending. And I'm just gonna pack some more right in the center of my eyelid because we want that to be the intense pop of pink right there in the middle. Kind of bringing that up a little bit because the next step is some glitter. Alright, so that's those 4 colors all in my eye, right? Now I'm going to take the shade Supernova. It's like a glitter. I'm going to go on it with my finger, and as you can see, it's very shiny. And I'm going to pack that on top of the pink center that we have, like that. And do the same thing on this side. And then the next thing I'm going to do is there's like still some left here, and I'm going to just press it at like kind of a crooked angle going up to the brow bone. Like this is kind of like a colorful like halo eye look, and I feel like it's very fun and adds some extra like beautifulness when you bring it up. Beautifulness. Love it. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So you should have something that looks a little bit like this if you're following along. And I'm gonna go into the shade Supermoon. Look at how white it is. And I'm gonna press a little bit of that right in the center. Just give it a little bit of extra dimension, a little bit of extra glitters, a little bit of extra shine. And we're gonna take this big brush. It is my powder brush. It's a large powder brush from Luxie 518. And I'm gonna take all this setting powder and sweep it away. Okay. Now, back to it. I'm gonna go in with this little pencil brush from Luxie. It is a 217. And I'm gonna take the insy pincy bit of Vortex. And I'm gonna run it right underneath the eye on the outer corner and connect the top and the bottom and do the same on the other side. This is a Luxie 213. It's an eye shading brush. I just like how small it is. I'm going to go into Utopia and I'm going to bring it right there and kind of connect to Vortex on the outside there. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Basically what we're doing at this point is we're just repeating the order of colors on the bottom in the same way that they're laid on the top. And then I'm going to just take the same one and I'm just going to use the very tippy tip point into Haze and kind of bring it on home, connecting the top and the bottom again. Should look something like that. Now, I'm going to take this little small tapered blending brush. It's another 231 from Luxie. I just really like this brush for doing my inner corner for some reason. I'm going to go into Supernova, this white shade again, with all those pretty colors, and I'm going to put it right here in the inner corner. And go ahead and put a little bit on the lower lash line. I'm kind of bringing it like up, like if you can see like right here, I like to bring it like that, like way in the inner corner. I like to have that whole section sparkling, darling. I just really pack on that Supernova because I love it. I love it. That's the eyeshadow look. Now, I'm going to take a lash curler, curl my eyelashes. I'm going to put falsies on because I feel like this look needs it, you know. I'm going to pop on some lashes and I'll be right back. Alright people, we are back and my lashes are on. I used Ardell Naked Lashes 424. Really like these. I think they are lightweight. They have that invisible band. So they're really easy to use for like beginners, which I consider myself a beginner with lashes. I don't really go very dramatic. Like this is about the amount of dramatic I will go for. Even now, I just feel like I look like an alien. I'm very much a natural lash girl. I've always had some pretty decent lashes. I can't really complain. So I don't really lean on false lashes very often, but I do sometimes like to play with them, especially on more colorful looks. I don't normally do eyeshadow like this. This isn't something that I would put on and just go to work. It is really pretty, it's just not, I'm very much a neutral ass bitch, so that's lashes. I'm gonna use this Skinny Mega Slim Mascara from Wet n Wild. For my lower lash line. I really like it because the applicator is just so small and I can use it so well for my lower lashes. And I mean, it's pretty great mascara. My big complaint with it is that it does transfer. I put it on my top lashes to blend in my real lashes with the falsies, and like I didn't get any transfer because the falsies were above it, but I did get like one little speck there, so I was a little annoyed. But if you know how to clean that up, it's really not that big of a deal. So what I'm going to do is very carefully coat a little bit of this on my lower lashes. And again, like, I mean, this mascara, it does a good job of separating each individual hair, which I really like in a mascara. And again, I just really like this applicator. Like, it's so small. Like, look at that. It just really gives you like baby doll, you know, like look at that, like look at the difference in those eyes. Okay, so now I'm gonna do this side. Oh my gosh, so much transfer. That's the big thing with this mascara. So I'm gonna go back in. I have this brush that I used earlier. I was trying to clean up some of this like glitter fallout that I got going on. Those are done. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is a NYX retractable eyeliner and it's in the shade Deep Blue. And I know that sounds kind of weird because I don't have any blue on, but trust me, it'll look really pretty. So I'm going to put this right in my waterline. I just think it like adds a little something to the look. Like I don't have any blue on, but I think it looks really pretty. I think this shade looks really good with like a lot of different eye looks. I always get like watery eyes. Now, on to the rest of the face. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is a contour brush from Smashbox, and I use it with the Smashbox contour palette. I really like this contour palette. But I'm going to go in with the first shade, which is this contour shade. Kind of dab it into the brush. Dust it off, and then I take it, I just dot it like this and kind of drag it a little bit and kind of feather it. And I'm putting very light pressure. Like this is very pigmented powder. And like as you can see, I just kind of like drag it a little bit out, like along that line right there where we would want our contour to sit. And I kind of do it at an angle. But because of the angle of the brush, that's why I really like this brush, because like no matter how you place it, like it's an angle here and it's an angle here, so like it just works because of the shape of the brush. But I really prefer a cooler tone for contouring and then a warmer tone for bronzer, and I like to use both. So as you can see, that just made like a little bit of shadow. It's making the light seem like I have like, so I just get a little bit more and just really make sure that at the darkest point, it's like at the bottom and in the very back, like right up into my hairline. I just really go back and forth and just really make sure the blend is there, and I kind of bring it up a little bit in a little swirl. I kind of bring it into the cheeks a little bit, like that, like that. Then I do this on the other side. And that part is done. So I'm going to take the center shade, which is the bronzer, and I'm going to bring it kind of like right on top of that, blend it together, and bring it further into the cheeks. Just doing nice circular motions. And I'm going to bring that up the temples. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And then I'm going to take just the bronzer shade again, and I'm going to bring it. And don't freak out like there is like a harsh spot right there, but it blends so nicely. That's why I really like this powder. And this is like one of the OG contouring palettes. Like I remember Smashbox made this before people were like really doing contouring. They've been very like studio, video, photos, stuff like that. And then I get a little bit of the contour shade and I kind of like bounce it on the very, very, very perimeter of my face, like into my hair. And I don't do a lot, just like a little bit. I kind of blend it in. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. Okay, back in with the bronzer again. Tap it off a little bit. That's another reason I really like this brush, because I can like do this on my eyebrows, like right above it, and make everything just kind of like really smooth. Okay, and then the last thing I like to do, I don't think my nose is particularly large or anything, but I just feel like the rest of my face has this nice warmth around it, you know, and then my nose is just kind of right in the middle of my face. So I like to just take a little bit of the contour shade and turn the brush like this, and I just dip the very tip of the brush into the contour shade, just very, very lightly, because like I said, remember this powder is very pigmented. So I just go very lightly, and I very lightly bring it up the side of the nose and just blend really well. And like, do you see that side of my nose? It has like a shadow on it now. And I usually like to kind of take a little bit of the bronzer shade too and kind of just go over that like a little bit lighter. And I brush it like up without touching like the top of my nose. Like I kind of brush from the side and like up like that. And like, look at that. Like you can't like see a really harsh line, but you can see that my nose is defined. So then I do the same thing on the other side of my nose. Then I just kind of, like, I don't know what that does, but it looks better, and Scott Barnes said to do it, so I did. And then I kind of bring some more bronzer and contour on the bottom, like right here. Like if I was trying to smell my brush, just to like make it wrap, like the tip is going to be brighter. Like that. If you ever watched a contouring video, you know what I'm talking about, okay? We're making shadows. That's really what we're doing. We're making shadows. I like to take this contour shade and just kind of lightly run it along my jaw a little bit. Trying to look chiseled. Trying to look like I don't have a double chin. And I also sometimes like to take just a little bit of the contour shade on the tip again and go like underneath my bottom lip. Makes my bottom lip look fuller. So I like to do it. Right, now, this is weird, but I use my finger and the highlighting shade is just a matte, like really light color, and I go right down the center of my nose where we didn't have the contour shade applied, and look at that. I like to do it again. Right here. Right there. See, like, I don't know. I think this contouring kit is bomb. Like, I love it. It's literally one of my favorite things ever. Like, I don't know why I use my finger for this part, but I just do. Now, at this point, I like to take some regular bronzer. I know, you're like, what? And I take this big wand ball powder brush. It's from It Cosmetics. And this is the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. Very loved, if you haven't noticed. Kind of swirl it in a circle, and then I kind of just very lightly like do this, like over top of that contour section. I don't know why, but I just think it looks so good. Plus, I love the smell of this bronzer. Like in the middle of this quarantine right now, it's giving me summer vacation beach vibes. And I'm definitely living for that right now. Intensify that bronze on the cheeks. Now we have nice and warm, brought to our skin. I really like this blush. It is Toasted Cinnamon from Burt's Bees. Very, very pigmented. I really like to use this to like blend cheek color into my blush. Might not pick up on camera like what it did, but it's just like bringing like a blushy tone that's not too blushy into like the contour and just marrying it all together just very beautifully. All right, now for the interesting part. What I like to do when I have like a lot going on with like my eyeshadow, I like to take a palette that I used, and if there is a good shade in there that I feel like would be a nice blush, do you see where I'm going? I like to use it as a blush. This Off Balance color, chef's kiss amazing for a blush color. Trying to just get that shade, you just gotta bounce it. There's a little bit on the brush. It doesn't look like a lot, but trust me. And I kind of just smack my face with it. What it does is it ties in a shade with like the right undertones and like the right colors to match your eyeshadow, because it all came from the same palette. So it's like they complement each other really well. Sometimes if you don't have like the right pink, like if you have only like a peach and you're wearing like very cool tone colors on your eyes, reach for an eyeshadow. It works. Trust me. All right, so very subtle, not done yet. So I'm gonna get a little bit more, and I'm just gonna keep smacking myself right in the face with that and just kind of bouncing it. Are you starting to see it? Because it's there, and I'm starting to see it better too. And I bring it like right in the front of my cheeks, like right below the part where your eye opens the most. Put it right there, because that's where your cheeks like really get big. So I kind of just like bounce it right there. That's where I want the pink, like the pink peachy color of the blush. That's where I want that to really be focused, is at the very front of your cheeks. And that's why, like I said, I liked that other shade to like bring the warmth up into the cheekbone, because it's a very good like color to blend. So that's why I really like that Burt's Bees blush that I have. So there, do you see that? Like it's so cohesive. I also kind of like clean my blush brush off. It's weird. Like I do this where my bronzer is at. I don't know. I'm gonna get this brush. This is a tapered highlighting brush, 522 from Luxie. And we're gonna have some fun with a weird color highlighter that I don't normally use. So, funny story. So, I bought this. This is during the quarantine, obviously. It was sent, and I've heard in the past, like from some reviews, that Ulta isn't like the greatest at packaging their stuff, especially powder products. So long story short, I open it up all excited and poof, this thing explodes highlighter all over me, and I was so upset. It was literally cracked. It was shattered. So I repressed it. It does not look like an Ofra highlighter because I repressed it, so it's just a pan. And I mean, as you can see, it's still very pink. It works. It's not as pretty. So anyways, I'm going to take Cloud 9 because it's pink, and I just feel like it'd be a lot of fun. And like I said, we're not going anywhere. Might as well. So I'm going to take Cloud 9 with my highlighting brush, and we're going to see what happens. Whoa. 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 I'm kind of bringing it into, just like very lightly into the blush, but I want the majority of the punch to be right there. Look at that pink. Look at that pink color. Looks pretty cool with that eyeshadow look, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so I'm gonna do it again on this side. Yeah, very unique to my highlighting collection, that's for sure, because like I don't have, like that is pink. Like I don't have any other highlighters that do that, you know what I mean? Trying not to like buy things that I'm not really gonna use. But that's cute. I'm gonna put a little bit like right here on my forehead. Like just the excess of what's on the brush. And then I'm gonna go into a more traditional highlight. This has been a favorite of mine lately. I also bought this when I went on that trip to Ulta with my friend Angela recently. And I've really been liking it. It's the Revlon Skin Lights. It's new from this year. It is the Prismatic Highlighter. I got it in shade 201, Daybreak Glimmer. Really like this. It's very bright, very potent, very boom. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and put it down. I don't really want the pink like on the bridge of my nose. So I'm just going to take a more like normal looking highlight down the bridge of my nose. And I like to take a small like eyeshadow brush just to make a little boop. The boop to make your nose look so small. I like to bring my highlighter like all around that whole section right there. I don't know why. I just think it looks good. Okay, leave me alone. I'm going to take a little bit more, make that icy mustache right there. Not everyone does this, but I really like my chin to shine. I want to look wet. I want to look like I've had all the water in the world. I want to look like hydrated and moist. I like to put it right down on my forehead. On my forehead, darling. Do I want to put some on my cheeks? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit right just on like the high part. Wow. We're almost done. Yay. Okay, so now the last thing I like to do, I don't really know if this does much, but I bought it and I do think I like it. It does feel like it's Facetune in real life, but this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette that everyone loves. I really like this. I don't really know how much it does. I feel like it does something, so I'm going to take one side of this brush. This is a Luxie brush. It's a precision foundation brush, but I don't use brushes for what they're called for. And I go into the left shade of the palette, Dim Light, and I kind of bring it right there because what I like to do when I'm done with like my blush and stuff is bring in like a powder right there that kind of like marries that together. And I'm going to bring it right here and through. And we're gonna get the darker bronzy shade on the end, bring that into the cheeks, and bring it into the temples. And yeah, I don't really know why I do that step. I like to do it as a finishing touch. I feel like it is like a good finishing, I don't know, a finishing powder. I don't know. Oh my gosh, and I forgot. I also like to do something with this. So I take some more of my setting powder. Again, this is the CoverGirl one. And I take my sponge. This is a Wet n Wild sponge. Really like this sponge. Never see anyone talk about it, but I really love it. I'm going to just clean up that line a little bit. Just kind of let it set there. I like to kind of bring some right there too. This is definitely like not a necessary step. Just really like the way it's made my stuff look. Like I feel like it cleans up the bottom a little bit. So usually I drag that there and then I just kind of like let it sit. Now, we're gonna let it sit for a minute. I'm gonna take my clips out. Wow. This is pretty much the final look except for my powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my powder brush. I don't know. I feel like it does something. Maybe it doesn't. But it makes me feel better, okay? I'm gonna put some more lip gloss on. Normally, I'd put on like a lipstick or, I don't know, a tinted lip gloss maybe at the least. Like if I was actually going somewhere, I would do that, but I'm literally just going to the living room. So, and this is the final look. What do you guys think of the eyeshadow? I think it's very spring. It's very fun. I really like this look. Really like this palette from Huda. I've used it a few different times for a few different looks. I think the eyeshadows work really well for someone that is like myself and is not a makeup artist by any means of the word. I just really like makeup. I really like to play with it, really like to wear it, really like to buy it, really like to think about it and talk about it. Yeah, I really like this look. If you do too, please feel free to try and recreate this yourself. It was really not hard. I'm sure if I can do it, I know anyone else out there can do it too. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, please leave a comment down below and let me know. If you love it, if you hate it, if you want to try it, if you want to wear it, please let me know. I hope you guys really liked today's video. If you like this eyeshadow look, please give this video a thumbs up if you want to try it. If you don't, you know, leave a comment down below. I always really love to hear from people. I like to hear your feedback, and let me know if there's any other palettes out there that you might want to see. And that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much again for being here. If you liked this video and would like to see more, please feel free to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications of all of my future videos. Everything that I'm wearing on my face will be in the description box down below, along with my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram accounts. So please feel free to follow me there as well. Until next time, I hope you have a heck of a day, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.